welcome to Pastor's Wives Chat. We are so excited to be doing this because this is the opportunity for me to get to, first of all, be with my friends and help you get to know who they are and what they do and their families and all that here at Buck Run. And I am so excited to get to welcome today Katherine and Riesen. And Katherine is married to Scott, and they came on staff here in 2015. He's our executive pastor.
Yes.
And blows it out of the water. He's a rock star at that. But he came in a different capacity. When you guys came, what was it you...
Yeah, so he started as the student pastor.
Okay.
And he was in that role for 3 years.
Well,
3 years?
Well, and I will say, even while he was doing that, he was still multitasking.
Yes.
He wasn't just student
Yeah.
pastor in the sense of only ministering to student. Man, he was juggling
Right.
a lot of things. So quickly, it started showing up.
Yes.
He's got a real aptitude to do certain things really extraordinarily
Yes.
well, and administrative
Yeah.
things, and he just juggles a lot of things well. So since coming to Buck Run, you came with a little boy.
Yeah, he was 8 weeks old when we came.
Yeah. And a beautiful little fella. All right, I'm going to let you just sort of tell a little bit about your family. So tell me first, say their names, introduce us with your, Catherine's got 3 little boys and 1 baby coming.
Yes.
When?
This baby is due July 31st.
All right, and
Yeah.
I tell you, you look amazing.
Well, thank you.
You carry children so gracefully, and just,
Thank you.
you make it look kind of easy. I know you feel differently, but.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I will say all the previous pregnancies have been easy. And this one has not been difficult. It has just been a little bit more challenging.
It's a 4th child.
It's a 4th child.
Yeah, so that's hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then if you were to describe them in a couple of words, what would you say about them?
Okay, so we have Warner, who is our oldest. He turned 5 in March.
Just celebrated?
Yes, we just celebrated with a parade and all the things, COVID style. And he is so much like Scott.
He is.
Yes, like he, character-wise, is just very, very much like Scott. Very thoughtful, very sweet, and very kind-hearted. Like, just loves his brothers, loves people, loves to make people feel like they are just special. And then we have Owen, who is 3. And he gives us a run for our money in ways that I love so much. He loves life to the fullest. And he also is the flip side of that. Like, if things are not his way, he can also be like he just has a tenacity for life.
Okay, so I have to stop you because we did this thing, video chats sort of back and forth, and I would give you updates on baby birds that were outside, and the excitement, like the politeness and the appreciation that Warner would display.
Yes.
And then Owen excitedly, like, scrunched up, dancing out his excitement.
Oh, yeah.
Is pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much a picture of them. They are so fun, and they are, because they're only 19 months apart, are just, I mean, they love each other. But they're very different,
sweet.
But they love each other, and they love being brothers, and they are just sweet friends. And then we have Liam, who is 20 months younger than Owen, so he's 1, and he is following closely in Owen's footsteps.
It surprised me. Did it surprise you? Did you think differently?
Well, because he was like
so
such
chill.
a serene and chill baby.
I've never seen such a chill baby.
I took him to like San Francisco. I took him to St. Louis. I took him to Chicago, all within like 4 months of life. And he just was like, you would have not known he was there. Like,
no,
he
like
was
at church. He's just like in his seat.
Just like totally.
Just chill.
And then one happened, and he has
switch flipped. And
he's so fun.
You didn't drop him or anything and cause that, or
no. With Owen, we could argue that I did when he broke his femur, but no, not with Liam. Yeah.
Oh, when you sent the picture of him
in his little cast. I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was just.
Yeah, but no, with Liam, we have not done that. But he's got very much a strong will that
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
beginning
I
to
see
show.
it starting to come up.
But he also has a love for life, very similar to
Right.
Owen. That just if he can make you laugh, he's going to do it over and over. And so I'm interested to see what
Yeah.
kind of personality this one brings to the crew.
Yeah, my Candace and Seth say the fourth. Yeah, with each one, the game just gets upped.
Yes,
And so it's like they're making their presence known in whatever way that,
is
and
necessary.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they have to up their game just a little bit. So possibly,
Oof,
that'd be,
that would be fun.
and so if it's a girl, maybe that'll change that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
The
if
boys
that
are
dynamic
very hopeful for a girl.
are they?
They all are convinced we're having a girl. I don't feel that way necessarily.
Yeah.
But it would be a fun little surprise.
It would be,
so
yeah.
we have not found out the gender, and
Yeah,
so-
you didn't with any of them.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this time I think I could have been like convinced to find out.
But now why, right?
That's exactly what Scott said. He was like, "Why would we do that?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well,
Yeah, now
All
you
right.
are. It's not going to change anything.
exactly,
you know,
exactly."
so
okay,
okay. Well, all right. Let's talk a little bit about. We're going to do like a whirlwind of your upbringing. Let's
Okay.
go all the way back to that.
Okay.
You're originally from,
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee,
which is amazing city, by the way.
yes,
I love Memphis.
Yes, I love Memphis.
Yeah.
Still love going back to Memphis. It's a fun city to be a part of, and it's very similar to because when we moved to Louisville, there's just a lot of similarities to
There
Louisville
is,
and Memphis. as
except
far
it's
as,
a little more southern feeling.
Yes, yeah. Louisville is like more northern.
It
Yes,
does have a
agreed.
more northern feel.
Yeah, but they are as far as like the make of the city. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's a very similar city. So I was born and raised in Memphis. Lived there my whole life. Did not move out of Memphis until Scott and I moved to Louisville.
What part of Memphis were you?
So I was in Bartlett area.
Bartlett,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, Bartlett, Lakeland.
Yeah.
Most of our life.
Yeah, what's interesting, it's the tri-state area, so that you could literally be in Mississippi or Arkansas or Tennessee
Yes.
In the same afternoon.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's just
Yes.
a quick little thing, and
Yeah.
so it's but each place has their very distinct flavor there.
For sure. Yeah.
And I always loved going over the river into Memphis.
Because
So-
y'all lived in West Memphis, right?
Right.
Or
Well,
Arkansas?
Marion, Arkansas,
Marion,
just
okay.
right across the river.
Okay.
And it, very flat delta.
Yes.
And it was like you moved back in time, and you moved to
Yes.
just like a not populous city or anything, and
Mm-hmm.
then you could see the Memphis skyline and all the
Oh, yeah.
coolness.
Yeah.
That was like it's like the Emerald City that I needed like a yellow brick road to get to, and we didn't have a car, so
Y'all
I didn't.
Okay,
We had
y'all
one
had
car.
one car, okay.
And so we had to share that one car, which basically meant I didn't have a car.
Yeah, so you
'Cause
got
he had
to look at the skyline,
so I could just
but
go,
never
wow,
really.
way over there. All right, so you grew up there. Did you grow up in a Christian home?
Yes, grew up with believing parents who are phenomenal and have just really displayed like what it looks like to love the Lord and be obedient to
And
the Lord.
how long have your parents been married?
They have been married 34 years. I
Okay,
think.
all right. And so what was your dad's job growing up? What did he
So
do?
he's been in the HVAC industry.
Okay.
He right out of high school went to trade school.
Okay.
And has worked in that. And then when I was growing up, I think around 7 or 8, he went into business for himself
Okay.
as a contractor doing HVAC.
Doing that. How about your
Um,
mom?
My mom has always been a stay-at-home mom
Mm-hmm.
since we were born. Prior to that, she worked in retail and that sort of stuff, and she
Uh-huh.
worked, I think, at a doctor's office until my oldest brother, Jonathan, was born. So there are 4 of us. I have 2 brothers and a sister.
Okay, in birth order would be
So it's Jonathan, Sarah, me, and then David, my younger brother. So I fall in third in line there. So.
do they live like in proximity, close to Memphis
Yes,
area?
so they all live in the Memphis area. They all probably live within 20, 30 minutes of my parents. So they're all have stayed in the Memphis area. My sister went away for school for a little bit, and then is now back in the Memphis area. And then one of my brothers went away for school for a little bit, but they've all ended up back in the Memphis area. So
Okay, well, growing up in that home, in that city, whatever, in that scenario, is there something particular that stands out to you that you go, wow, that was a grace of God that I had this, that you would see as a gift from the Lord
yeah,
in your growing up?
I think I I was thinking through like what I would describe as a grace of God, and just like my parents' relationship. I love, especially now as a grown adult, being married. Um, I love being able to look back and have those memories of my parents' relationship. They love each other, and they love the Lord, and they do both of those things very well. And they have always been obedient to the Lord. And so just seeing how they have done that and how they've walked that, and just seeing how my mom loves my dad and helps my dad and comes alongside and serves my dad, and how my dad just loves my mom and just dotes on her.
This is so sweet hearing this, because sometimes I think, and I know like seminary families tune into these chat things, and
Yeah.
they sort of like getting inside information. And so sometimes people think, oh, well, these are the qualities, and this is what a home of people who are going into ministry must look like, and they're going to be full-time service for the Lord. But your folks are lay family members.
Correct, yeah.
At a church. What church did they go to?
They go to Bellevue.
Okay.
In
Did they
Memphis.
grow up, or like married life, your married life, their married life, Bellevue mostly?
Yeah, so we about when I was about to hit middle school, we were at a very small church in
Okay.
Memphis, and then switched to Bellevue. So they have been at Bellevue for the last 20
Well, so then you've had
years.
good flavors of both,
Yes.
serving in a smaller
Yes.
community of believers and a giant community of
Correct.
believers. But the fact that they just brought you guys up in ministry,
Right.
though not formally, full-time ministers, that
Yeah.
says a lot. And that all your siblings involved in church. Just curious.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
They're all involved. All of them are involved in church. I was going to say they all go to my parents' church. My sister and her husband got married recently, and so they've been visiting Bellevue a lot, but kind of trying to find, I think, their own church home. But
Yeah.
so they're all involved, and both of my brothers are deacons at Bellevue. So just
That's awesome.
it is sweet to see like how my parents' faithfulness
Right.
has just
And just love for the
instilled-
church.
right.
Has produced fruit in
Yes.
the life of it. And I spoke with Hannah. She did the first one, and one of the things that was an incredible encouragement was the love that her parents had for the church and how that fleshed out in her life, and that marked her life. And you saying that just reiterates the importance of really making sure that you're not begrudging the church's responsibility, especially in a minister's
For
home
sure,
and life,
yeah.
but in general,
Right.
that
Right.
that you delight in the things of the church and the Lord and all that sweet. So, all right, so that's really cool. Okay, so Herschel has talked to Scott. He's talked to all the pastors before, and he usually asks them like their love story thing. So I don't know if you remember or listen to the whole thing of Scott. So let's just do a quick recap. Where'd you
Okay.
guys first meet?
So we met through a mutual friend that he was dating at the time.
Yeah?
So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so we met through one of his ex-girlfriends who was a good friend of mine,
Uh-huh.
and then we ended up working together. So that was like our very, very first time meeting each other, and then we did not have any contact with each other again until we worked together the following summer.
Okay, so what quality or trait of his just really stood out to you that was incredibly attractive
Oh
to
gosh,
you?
this is a little embarrassing. I loved country boys.
Yeah,
Like I just
okay.
loved like the country accent.
Right.
And that was
It's just so charming.
it was so charming. And that because he
great.
grew up in Somerville, which is outside of Memphis, and it's a smaller town, and he was very much so like
Uh-huh.
country. And even to this day when we go back to Somerville, that
He
that
takes his
southern
posture on.
yeah, that
Yeah.
southern drawl comes back. And yeah, so that is originally what I remember thinking, man, he's really cute and he has a southern drawl. I mean, it
Yeah.
was literally like I can
Yeah,
remember
that's okay
meeting
that
him.
those things draw
and
you
it-
in, by the way.
Yeah, and it was like a 3-second conversation that we had, but I just remember thinking he's really cute.
Yeah.
And I like that he is country.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay,
that's-
and so when did you know, or how did you know, like, oh yeah, this is the guy, this is the one?
So we served together at Bellevue, the church that I was attending. He was an intern for a summer there with the student ministry, and I worked in the student ministry office during that time. So we served together that summer, and we served together the second summer as interns. And there was one day I remember seeing him just working very hard. We were at a camp, he was loading stuff up, and I just remember thinking, man, that guy knows how to work, first
Yeah.
of all, but he also has such a heart for the Lord. He's doing this because he loves the Lord.
By the way, those same traits are still so clear.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that he hasn't let up. He
No,
hasn't
no.
coasted
Correct.
yet.
Correct. No, he is not. And some of the traits that I truly admire about him still to this day. And so, yeah, I remember thinking that's a kind of guy that I would like to marry. I don't know if I thought like I want
Right.
to marry him, but I knew that I was attracted to him. And I knew that like at that point, like that was some characteristics that I was looking for in a man that I wanted to marry. So.
Yeah, he's so from first date to marriage would be what?
That's a little tricky. You might want to ask which first date.
Okay, all right. First date that you would say mattered then. So
Well, so I don't know if you know this part of our story, but we were engaged twice.
no,
Yeah. So
that is funny.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
So that's why it's a really difficult question to answer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So from the first time that we started dating and got engaged, and then I called off the engagement. That was about a year and a half, and then we did not speak for I think like 15 months.
Wow.
And he actually moved to Louisville.
I was gonna say he thought he's done.
Yeah.
In 15 months and then moving. Yeah.
Yeah, he
thought
had
it
moved to
was-
Louisville, and then he moved back to Memphis. The Lord's hand was just all over it,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of things that the Lord did in my heart during that time, and did in Scott's heart, and just it was just really graciousness of the Lord. So from the time that we started dating again, I think we started dating officially in March. I think we had started talking, and then I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can do this. He stuck it out. He was a trooper. So yeah. So in
He
March,
would say it was worth everything. It was worth it all.
yeah,
I know he would.
I think he would.
I know he
I think he
would.
would. So we started dating in March, got engaged in August, and we're married in November.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well, I'm sure glad
Relatively
he stuck
short.
it out. Yeah. All right. So that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that detail.
Yeah.
That's good for him that he
Yeah,
that
no.
he didn't get his ego wounded and miss out on this great blessing. And
well, you're kind.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
mean,
Yeah, he was. Many people told him to run the other direction.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, as
I'm
they
sure.
should have. So
right. Well, the wisdom of the Lord filled him at this point. Speaking of filling, your house is filled with fellas.
Yes.
And so you work heartily in your home. I've been in your home, and it's just a very grace-filled place, and you are a very excellent cook.
Thank you.
I love you. You had some sort of like really tasty bread thing that was really good when I came over, and you had like you were discipling
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
girls, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
came in, and then I just remember it was just like really very peaceful and serene and nice, and it was great. So, but aside from working in your home, you're also working the hospital.
Yes. Yep.
And so, exactly what is your job? What is it you do?
So I work as a pediatric nurse in the emergency room in Louisville.
In Louisville.
So I work at Norton Children's
Are you
Hospital.
still doing that currently?
I am. I don't work as frequently as I used to. My main priority and job is staying at home with the boys. But I do work occasionally. It's every couple of weeks, and depending kind of what life looks like and what Scott's schedule looks
Yeah.
like, we really try to schedule it to where he can be home with the boys and I can work, and so it varies how much I actually work these days. But yeah, I work in the emergency room there. I really enjoy it. I have always been in the pediatric setting since I graduated nursing school.
So, have you done any other job besides like nursing kind of stuff?
Um,
you?
not
Not really.
anything significant. I had high school jobs and that sort of stuff. I
What?
worked in
What?
insurance.
Oh, do you have a job you hated and you just did because it was a job?
Yeah, so I worked at this insurance place.
Hate's too strong a word. Wasn't
Yeah.
your fit? A word
Yeah,
that
it
just
wasn't my
particularly
fit.
your fit.
I didn't
Yep.
understand insurance. And I was only supposed to be there for like a couple of weeks just to help answer phones and
Right.
kind of get them over a hump, and ended up being there, I think, almost 2 years.
What? Yeah.
And I just still never understood it. Like, I just kept, like, people would call. And so, like, I was a customer service rep. And so, like, people would call because they're mad that their
Right.
rates had gone up. And I'd be like,
I'm just to answer.
I don't know. They just, it's been across the board. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, I didn't particularly love that job.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't,
wouldn't
I
love
didn't
it.
hate it.
Yeah,
I learned
just
stuff
wouldn't.
through it,
Sure.
but I didn't. Yeah, and I do have fond memories of the people that I worked with there,
Yeah.
but I didn't particularly love not knowing what I was talking about. Like, people would call in and very frustrated, and rightly so. Their rates had gone up,
Right.
yada yada yada, and I just didn't love being like, yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. You
Yeah.
know, so that part of it. But yeah, no, there was never anything that I absolutely like dreaded going into work. But yeah, that would be my job that I didn't
You know
particularly.
what my job is that I did? I was a dog groomer, but before
Oh.
you actually are a groomer, you have to like be the dog washer.
Oh,
And so, you know, you don't get to choose what dog, you know, you
Right.
get whatever dog shows up. And
do you enjoy animals? Like, do you enjoy dogs?
they're okay.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like I loved them growing up, but now we've never had one since I've been married. Officially never had one. We had like a stray come along and
Yeah.
almost separate Herschel and I over it, but that's another story. But the washing dogs was just
Yeah.
really horrible. So, you know, but I did it. The length of time that you have to sort of do your work and pay your dues in order to learn how to groom a dog and then groom it. And I did that for a relatively short amount of time, and then it was like, yeah, I don't want to do that
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, that's not for
my
me.
thing. Yeah, because it's not just cutting their hair. You know, there are other
Right.
things you got to do to the dogs that,
Yeah.
you know, that just were not encouraging. Okay, so speaking of jobs, yeah, I hate to even use the word job here, but you're the way you serve, the way you work at Buckarun has taken on different ministry venues and different things. But is there something particular, like even now at this season of life, that you find to be what you're enjoying doing
Like here at Buckarun.
here at Buckarun? Or you
Um,
can even say that since you've been at Buckarun, something
Yeah.
that you.
So I am not currently doing this, but I have done this in different capacities since we've been at Buckarun. doing discipleship groups.
Yeah,
That
you do that really
is
well.
a big joy of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I love just walking alongside people
Mm-hmm.
and girls and ladies in particular, but and just studying God's word.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is my favorite thing in ministry, because I think that you really get to see the Lord working in people's lives in a really up close
Right.
way.
Right.
Um, so I would say that that is probably one of my favorite things. Currently, uh, COVID has kind of changed things,
Right.
obviously, but I'm serving in kids ministry, and I have really enjoyed writing letters to
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
I think that's
That's
fun.
so sweet
I
seeing these people post
Yes,
the excitement of their little kids getting letters. You like several of them have they've gotten several letters. It's not just
yes,
like a one-time
yes,
deal. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it's been really sweet.
That's
Our
so
kids
sweet.
love getting them, and so I
Yes.
think that's why it makes it more exciting to send them out,
Right.
knowing how much our kids really enjoy. Like, they'll ask me, "Mom, did I get a letter today?" And so it's just really, I think that part has just been fun, because it's a different way to minister during this time of not getting to see people,
Right.
of just like getting to, you know, send a fun note for
Yeah.
somebody to get.
Right.
Because who doesn't love getting mail? I love getting
Oh,
mail.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And right now, I think handwritten mail is making a bigger impact, and it really needs to make a comeback.
Right.
Because like I have several letters that somebody, people have written me in the past, or cards or something, and you can pull those back out, and
Right.
they're savable on some level.
Right.
And email, even though it's sort of like files it and it's there,
Right.
it's not the same thing.
Nobody goes back and looks
Nobody
at
goes
those.
back and
Yeah.
does that.
Yeah.
So I really, and I think we've lost like our penmanship and our writing, and I
Right.
think all those things are just, they're the beauties of
Yeah.
gifts of things. So
For sure.
I've thought I've got to up my game doing that again. All right, so you said right now you're you're not able to do that thing. So aside from COVID, your family's also had an incredible challenge that has hit.
Yes.
And I mean your family, like your parents' family, that family, and then obviously it flushes over into your family.
Correct.
So Buck Run has come to know your mom and dad through venue of praying for them. But we don't like know them,
Yeah.
but we feel like we know them, and
Yeah.
and they've become a part of our lives and consistent part of like many people's lives as they've lifted them up. But tell us about your dad. First of all, he was diagnosed with what is it exactly?
He was diagnosed with a grade 4 glioblastoma, which is a brain tumor, last March.
And it's an aggressive.
It's very aggressive. There's not an actual cure for it. Typical expectancy or lifespan is about 18 months, 5 years for some, depending on if they're able to remove it. His was non-operable, and so they did a biopsy to discover what type of tumor it was, but that was all that they could do, because they could not remove the tumor because of where it was in the brain. And so so he was diagnosed with that last March, and did treatment for about 6 weeks, and there's not really any other treatment that can be done.
Okay.
There's chemo that could be done, but it's a pretty strong form of chemo that doesn't make you feel very well. And so since then, he has been on a treatment to help with symptoms, which is basically just to help with swelling in the brain. And so he's been on that since, I want to say, August or September. And so we have been, each scan has shown progression of the tumor, like rapid progression of the tumor, until this previous scan in March, where it actually showed that the tumor has shrunk.
Right.
And so we are praising the Lord for that.
Right.
And
So does
super,
that
super
alleviate
thankful for that.
some sort of symptom problem for him?
We have not
If
seen
okay.
that
All right.
yet.
He's still
he's still
challenged
still
from-
having mobility issues.
Okay.
And so yeah, we haven't seen a relief of symptoms, but we are super thankful just
Yeah.
for the kindness of the Lord in shrinking the tumor for this particular scan. So
Well,
yeah.
and fittingly so, and rightly so, you were traveling basically even with the boys in tow for this, so they could be with their grandfather and their grandmother and your sister and brothers, sisters and brothers. Just that whole um, transient life
Yes.
is, you can't not do it and don't want to not do it, but it certainly takes challenge.
Yeah.
It invites challenges.
For
Then
sure.
put on top of that, now he's high risk. You would, I guess, fall into high risk. I don't know if that does or not, but so your trips back and forth.
Yeah. So we stopped. The last trip we made was in February. We were there for 3 weeks, which at the time I didn't know
Yeah.
what a sweetness of the Lord. I mean,
Right.
and that was a long trip,
It
and I'm sure a lot
was.
on my parents,
Right.
and just a lot on everybody because kids aren't seeing daddy, and
Right.
all of that. And so, but just really thankful that we took that whole 3 weeks and we stayed for the whole time. Especially knowing that we haven't been there since the end of February. And so, yeah, so that has been difficult, not getting to see them. We've done lots of FaceTime.
Isn't that a great? Oh man.
Super thankful for
Oh
that.
mercy.
Super thankful for that. My parents are so patient and rock stars with that, because FaceTiming a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old is not easy, but they do it, and I know they love it, and the kids love it, obviously. But yeah, it's been lots and lots of FaceTime. So we are looking forward to the day that we get to go back and
Play
visit in
eyeballs.
person. Yeah,
Yeah, I know
and
they
give
are
hugs
too.
and all that
Yeah,
good stuff.
it's
But
funny when I FaceTime with any of my grands, they either take their mom's phone or their iPad and they flee to a secluded place and they set the iPad down, and typically I'm either looking up their nose or at the ceiling or at the carpet.
Right.
And so I hear, and so I spend a lot of time like, hey, turn the phone around so Greg can see your face.
Yeah, so I can see you.
Yeah, so I can see you.
Yeah.
But I find that being a real precious connection, and it's sweet. Okay, so now I want, if you don't mind me asking you to help us do something with this. In 2 Corinthians, it's for chapter 1, it speaks about God comforting us in all of our afflictions so that we are able to comfort those who are in any affliction with which we ourselves have been comforted by God. So teach us a little bit, if you don't mind, about some things or some ways that have come as actual comforts from church family or church friends. Like, what did you go, wow, that really helped. That was a great comfort, so that we can know, hey, this really is helpful. I
Right.
can do this.
Right. Yeah, so it has been amazing the amount of, and I think a lot of times, especially in my own life, when people are going through struggles, I'm like, yeah, well, sending a text just isn't really helpful. Or like letting them know that I'm praying for them doesn't change anything really, other than that they know that I'm praying for them. But you have no idea the text and the timing of the text.
That's
and
just a good word.
I mean, it has been, so text messages, I've gotten cards in the mail, which I said earlier, I love handwritten
Yeah.
letters, and I love
Well,
getting mail.
the whole concept of a word fitly spoken.
Right.
Yeah. The Lord knows
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so us not taking the opportunity.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the obedience of people being obedient to
Right.
the Lord when He has laid me on their hearts, and they respond by sending me a text or sending me a note in the mail. Or I've had people stop me here at church and just ask, how's your dad doing? And then we end up crying together, and they are praying with me, just to know that, like, my struggles are important to them. And so I think that has been just really sweet. We have had people, ask us how we're doing, and then drop us some cash for gas.
Wow. Right.
Which, is
Yeah.
just sweet and
Yeah.
just thoughtful. We've had a community group send us gift cards for gas. And so just there have just been ways that people have just, again, been obedient to being faithful to pray for us and to listen to the voice of the Lord during this time. It's just been sweet.
Yeah, you've got the concept that people are praying for you, and you've got the fruit that obviously people are praying for you, but the actual concrete evidence is what you're saying makes the difference, where somebody just takes the time to say, I am praying for you.
Yeah. Well, and it's just sweet, like, because really the past year, I haven't calculated the amount of time that we've been in Memphis versus the amount of time that we've been in Frankfurt. But if I had to guess, I would say we've been in Memphis more than we've been in Frankfurt. And when we are home here in Frankfurt, just to have people come up and say, hey, how is your dad? Or how are y'all doing? To just solidify the fact that they have been praying for us and they've been thinking about us has just been so encouraging. And just to see just the body of Christ come around and just be faithful to pray.
Well, and I think sometimes people worry like it will bring you down or maybe make you sad or it might cause you to cry or something like that. And what you're saying then is that don't calculate that.
Correct. Yeah, because I very well may cry, and that just might be a
And
byproduct of
that's right.
hormones or all the things.
True. Well, because I think every once in a while people are hesitant, like, well, I don't want to bring that back. It's on your mind all the time anyway, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you're introducing something
Correct
that you aren't probably already thinking about. It just solidifies that I'm thinking about that with you. I'm helping bear that burden.
Right.
Well, I can't tell you how grateful I am for the way the Lord has used your life, your testimony to teach grace and trust and what it looks like to be a daughter, what it looks like to be a wife and a mom and all this. And he has been clearly evident in that. And what's really sweet is, I say all the time, the Lord does not waste a thing. He doesn't waste a trial. He doesn't waste a joy. He's using it in many fashions and everything. And so thank you for helping us know what comforts, because we don't want you to not be utilized in light of the other challenges that bring with that. All right, so total segue, total moving into another vent. Every week that Herschel would do Pastor's Chat, he would do something like the lightning round, where he just shoots out questions. And I am doing something that's called the if round. All right? And so I'll just ask you a question and you shoot off what it is. Okay, if you closed your eyes right now and imagined yourself in an amazing place, what would you visualize?
So I would visualize me and Scott and me, probably in St. Lucia. It's where I've always wanted to go.
It looks
I've never been.
Tetons or something like that. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I have never been, and that is a place that I've always wanted to go.
So you're tropical.
Well, so I love tropical, but I love the aspect of St. Lucia and the fact that you can go, like, there are the mountains that you can hike in. Like, so I love, like, both of those aspects, like that you get the best of both worlds there. But I also like a tropical in the sense of like I never used to be a lay on the beach kind of person. I just couldn't, like, I was too ADD for that.
Same.
And so I think in this moment of my pregnancy, I could totally be a lay on the beach kind of person. But I think that's where I would love to be.
That would. It looks.
I mean, it looks beautiful.
It does.
So I hope that I wouldn't be disappointed. I don't think that I would be, but yeah.
Yeah, you'd be with Scott. So
yeah,
you
that's
guys
right.
Get into it. And you like outdoors.
Oh yeah, we love to do that sort of stuff. So.
Okay, if you were to pick up a brand new pair of running shoes, what brand would they be?
Asics.
Asics. You're straight line.
Tried and true Asics. I guess I can't say that. I've never actually tried like Brooks or Mizuno's. Well, that's not true. I have tried Mizuno's. I don't prefer them. I prefer Asics. I just like
Yeah,
them.
they don't fit up around my ankle right.
Oh yeah,
It's like
you're a Nike girl.
I
Aren't
am
you?
because they do that sock fit. You know what I'm talking about? The kind of
Yeah.
flex fabric
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
comes
yeah,
up
yeah.
around it, and so I can get it to fit
Maybe I
almost.
should try.
Oh, it's a sweet. No blisters get rubbed in it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
I literally had a brand new pair of tennis shoes and ran a distance, like a true distance
Yeah.
in them first time. No,
Huh.
no issues.
All right.
All right, weird question. Do you ever mess up like your toenails from running? Ever get?
You know, I actually never have. I
Okay.
get like blisters on the bottom of my
Okay.
feet,
All right.
but I've never had my toenails fall off from
Okay.
running.
Okay.
I don't know why, because I know that's a thing.
It is,
But
yeah.
no, I've run probably 4 or 5 different half marathons, and I've never
Never
had
lost.
never had issues with my toenails, which is odd.
That's
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, you got on
I don't know what that
sandals,
says
so
about my toenails, but
I know. Okay, so I sorry, got off on that one. All right, you have 1-ish hour of free time alone. What are you gonna do with it?
yeah. In this moment, I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah.
This day.
Good
This
for
day.
you. Good for you.
Yeah, I would take a nap. I'm not a big nap person, but that towards the end of my pregnancy, I'm so
Well,
ready
you know
for
what? We
take
could
a nap.
pretend like my interview went really, really long because I see Scott's got the boys out in the parking lot or something.
Yeah. I'll
So
just go.
you just
I'll just go lay down in,
Go lay
in
down,
his office.
and I'll just keep sitting here.
Yeah,
and he'll
this will
just
be great,
assume-
and he'll just assume that
I
we're still
think
talking.
It's a good plan. I do. All right, you pick up a book for vacation to take on your vacation. What are you going to grab?
Oh, I don't like books.
I have to make myself
Yeah.
be a book person, and there's like a shame involved in it. You know, like people
Yeah.
shame you. Like,
Yes.
you know,
Yes. And I do
that
think
I
I
have
was
to
talking.
make myself
I was
read,
talking
too.
to somebody the other day, and I think it's because when I pick up a book, if I'm gonna read, I want to read something that's gonna be like helpful. You know,
I agree.
and
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
don't
why
do-
I don't enjoy
I don't do
them.
fiction.
Right. And
I
I
just
think
don't
that's
do
why I don't
fiction.
enjoy them because, granted, it is helpful and I do learn things from them, but
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to just get through. Like, I think the last book that I actually read all the way through was Women of the Word. Loved it because
Yeah,
it's an
right,
easy read.
right.
And super, super helpful. But, like,
And little.
little. That's right. That's right. I like little books.
Me too. Me too.
There are a lot of books that I've read a lot of chapter 1 and 2 in.
Yeah, me
There are
too.
just not a lot of books that I've completed. And I don't read fiction. And so, yeah, that's a hard one to answer for me.
No,
'Cause I don't.
that is the perfect answer, by the way, because you know there's this whole shaming thing of like
Yeah.
people who post things like, well, what's the last book you read? I'm reading, and like people will be reading like 7 books at one time, and you know, and it's sort of like they're meddling
Yeah.
in that, and
Yeah.
like I get a medal for reading that more,
Yeah.
and you know, kudos to you, but you know, there's other ways of learning too.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely could be better in the reading aspect.
Well,
of
I
my life.
have gotten better, and I have to make myself finish a book. And so my thing that's caused me to be a reader is I make sure I read a book on vacation. I just go,
Oh.
I'm going to take but I don't have little children.
Yeah.
You know, that I'm like corralling and entertaining.
Yeah.
And so I actually
Yeah.
can read. And
Yeah.
usually I read more on the plane ride there or the car ride there
Right.
if I don't get car sick.
Right.
And then on the back and the other stuff, I'm like, oh no, I gotta finish that. I gotta keep reading.
Gonna have to finish that book.
All right, if we picked up your phone right now, what wallpaper or picture would be on it?
Oh, I think it is a picture of the boys in their little Jeep that they have. They have a little motorized Jeep that my parents got them a couple years ago for Christmas. And they all 3 pile in it.
Yeah.
Owen is typically hanging off the back or riding on the front.
I can picture this.
Uh-huh. And Liam is strapped in because sometimes Warner is a great driver, but sometimes he'll take a sharp turn and everybody goes, to one side. But yeah, it's the 3 of them sitting, and I think that's the picture.
Yeah.
I think I changed it recently, so it might not be
Okay, and that
picture
was my
anymore.
next question. So when's the last time you changed your picture? It was recent?
I think it was. Sometimes I get bored with looking at the same picture. Like it'll
Uh-huh.
stay there for probably 4 or 5 months or so.
Mm.
But a lot of times I'll change it. So like if you click my phone, it's usually like a picture of Scott and
There we
I,
go. Okay,
and
that was
then
my other question.
my
So you got two.
wallpaper is of the boys typically. That's
Mm-hmm.
I typically change it up like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is one of my favorite pictures because they're all like just grinning from ear to ear, and I think it gives me a glimpse into my future
I
of
think it does.
what they're going to be like as teenagers, maybe.
So you're gonna have to like get a little cart that hooks onto the back and stick baby
Yeah.
Riesen in
Well,
that
the
for them
kids
to.
have decided that baby Riesen could just sit in the very back
Oh,
because
that's
it's
true.
like got a little.
Kind of cut out space.
Yeah, so if
a trunk.
I'm not watching, that may happen one day. Because Warner will be able to pick this baby up, so I'm going
Right.
to have to be watching pretty carefully. Yeah. Yeah, because Owen is full of lots of ideas
Yeah, I could
for how to
tell.
have fun, and so that would probably be one of his ideas. So, yeah.
They're neat kids. Your
They're
family,
fun.
your family's a delight, and
Well,
we're just grateful that the Lord, in His generous way, has brought you and Scott and your boys, and now our new baby coming
yes.
to serve alongside. And it's just, you're just a gift. You're
Well,
just a
thank you.
great grace and gift, and I love that the people of Buck Run get to see a testimony of a family like you guys. So
Well,
thankful
thank
for
you.
that. All right,
Thanks.
so that was sweet. Thank you guys for joining us. And I'm not sure who comes on the next week interview, but I'm sure you'll love it. And thanks, Katherine, for doing this. And we'll look forward to our next Pastor's Wives chat. I don't know if it's Pastor's Wives or Pastor Wives or I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know.
pa-
What, are,
I,
what is it?
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
think you
I
could go
have like a-
both.
All right.
Either
so
way, Pastor Wives chat.
Pastor Wives chat. Let's do that.
Pastor Wives chat.
Till next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.